What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day and welcome to the Tundra Dude 34 YouTube channel. If you are new, happy to have you. Welcome aboard. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you know every time I put up a video and live stream. And make sure you make your way over to the playlist section to help yourself navigate through the 1,300 plus videos. All the videos are put into categories to make it easier on you. Make sure you check out the Next Generation Tundra playlist because that seems to be the popular one as we move closer to the 2022 Tundra, which will be all new. Now, before we get started on the topic of the video, I also want to tell you about two promo codes going on. One is the promo code that I've had for a long time, but like I said, in case you're new, sparksparts.com, promo code TundraDude34 saves you 5%. Now, on that website, you could buy Toyota parts all over the place, Toyota TRD, everything aftermarket for your Tundra or any other Toyota. So make sure you visit sparksparts.com, promo code TundraDude34 saves you 5%. The other promo code is brand new. Within the past few days, we've got it. And that is from the Toyota Outfitters website. Now, that website is the official gear of Toyota, TRD, and Toyota Racing. Like the stuff I have on right now. A lot of people always ask me where I get all my Toyota and TRD clothing. It's from Toyota Outfitters. So if you head over to that website, in the description below, there is a link so you can click it. If you use the promo code TundraDude, all capitals, one word, TundraDude, it will save you 25% on your order. Now, that is great savings on both of those websites, so make sure you go check them out. But today, we did a video the other day talking about the dislikes of the 2020 TRD Pro Toyota Tundra in my driveway after the first 6 months of ownership. So, of course, today we got to do the likes. You got to end on a good note. So had to do the likes second. So today will be an easy video for me because there's so much I like about this truck. Now, in the last video, which I think you should go check out, maybe pause this over me right now. You'll see a link to the dislikes. Go watch that and then come on back. Some people were saying I was being kind of picky in some of the things that I was talking about that I dislike on the truck. Absolutely. I had to be picky because there's not much I dislike. I've been driving Tundras for a long time. And a lot of people who don't drive Tundras or don't really care for Tundras, or maybe you're somebody who has an older Tundra, feels like they don't make enough changes to the truck. Now, there are definitely some things we would like to see, come up to date on the Tundra. But I will tell you, from driving as many as I've had, I've owned a lot, press vehicles, all that stuff, they have made a lot of significant changes in 2020, or moving up to 2020 from 2018 with Toyota Safety Sense. 2019, we got the new TRD Pro. They made some adjustments to that. In 2020, we got things like push button start, Entune 3.0, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatible, things like that. They have an app now where you can remote start your truck and do all your information right there. Not a big fan of the app, but they did bring the Tundra up to date a little bit. I mean, it still looks the same, which I have no problem with. I love the way the truck looks. And we will talk about some of the likes today. So first, we are going to talk about some of the things physically on the truck, exterior and interior, that I like about it. I had a Platinum before this, so you may see a couple comparisons to that Platinum. One of the things I was terrified of when I got into this truck, which by the way was on a whim, I didn't plan to buy this, it was kind of sight unseen, had an option at an Army Green TRD Pro and couldn't say no, it was time. But one of the things for me with going from a Platinum to a TRD Pro is I felt like I would have a lot of buyer's remorse because I would miss a lot of the stuff on the Platinum. The Platinum is a fully loaded luxury Tundra that I ended up building into a Pro. We did a project on it. Make sure you go check out that playlist. And we also supercharged it. So I was afraid coming from a Platinum with all the luxury features to a TRD Pro and going from a supercharged Tundra to a naturally aspirated 5.7 would be tough, but I gotta be honest with you, it's been nice and smooth, and I'm gonna tell you why on a couple things. So we're gonna go outside, we're gonna take a look at the truck, some of the things I really like about it, and then we're gonna take a ride, and we're gonna end on my two favorite things that I truly love about my 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Take a look. All right, before we take a ride in the Pro and talk about my top two favorite things about the truck, there's a couple things we got to talk about right now. Some of the features that are on the 2020 TRD Pro that I absolutely love. We got to start with the color. I love that army green color. When it first came out, I wasn't really a big fan of it until I went to a dealership locally and saw one in person and saw the way the contrast of it changed when it was in shadow versus sunlight. I absolutely can't get enough of it. And I kind of feel that way about all of the special TRD Pro colors since 2015. They all have that flat, shiny look to them, not a metallic look. And I'm a really big fan of that. And I will say Army Green is by far one of my favorites. I also really like Inferno from the first year, 2015 TRD Pro. But the color has got to be something that you talk about. Their special colors for the TRD Pro are very hard to get, so I was fortunate to be able to get one, and I'm still very happy with the color. Number 2, the wheels. The TRD Pro wheels on the 2019 and up Tundra. At first, I couldn't stand them, I gotta be honest with you, but they have grown on me. And again, when you see them in person, when you see things in person, it just changes everything. Like Lunar Rock is coming out on the 2021 TRD Pro. Right now, I'm not a big fan of it. When I see it in person, it may change. I felt that way about the wheels when I saw them in person and saw that they were more of a flat black look to it. I think they look great, and I'm definitely a huge fan of them all the way. And gotta be honest with you, I wouldn't change them. The tires I would change, but the wheels I would not. Next up, I love what they've done to the new TRD Pro grille to incorporate that Toyota Safety Sense sensor right in the front of it under the Toyota logo. I think it looks really good. That grille is actually really growing on me because I was always a fan of the 15 to 17 TRD Pro grille, but that grille is really growing on me, and I think I like it a little bit more right now, but I'm not quite sure on that, so make sure you go in the comments below and let me know which TRD Pro grille you like more, the 15 to 17 or the new 19 and up one. And I also like the look of the fake hood scoop. I gotta be honest with you. I think it ties into the truck really well. It's something a little bit different. It's not on all Tundras, but it definitely looks good on this. I wish it was functional, as we all do, but it definitely does look pretty good. One thing I will note, if you don't have a hood scoop on your Tundra and you're about to buy something like a TRD Pro or a TRD Sport it's also on, it takes a little getting used to when you're actually driving the truck. As far as the old hood that we're used to, there is a little bit of a sightline difference, especially when you're turning down low right on a curve or something. Just something to keep in mind. You will get used to it. But I am a fan of that hood scoop, and I know a lot of you guys do not like that. Another thing about the TRD Pro that I really like, especially this one, is all the blacked out emblems. It's fantastic. Really goes good with the army green. I like the fact that there's really no chrome on the outside of this thing at all. You know, we live the hashtag no chrome lifestyle. So the blacked out badging looks great. Flat black goes great with the wheels. We talked about that yesterday. Goes great with the handles and everything. So big fan of that. If you don't have blacked out badging, that might be something you use Sparks parts for. They have that there. Don't forget about that. This one is kind of important, and I know I will have a couple comments on this. Huge win in this truck for me is the leather seats. Now, I'm coming from a Platinum, and if you don't know this, the Platinum and the 1794 Tundra, which are the high-end luxury Tundras, they have the high-end perforated, heated and cooled seats. And there's nothing wrong with those seats. They're great. They're a softer leather. But for me, these seats are more of a stiffer leather. They're not perforated. They're heated. It's definitely more of a tougher leather. But for me, for some reason, when I drive long distances with this leather versus the Platinum leather, my back feels a lot better. So the seats in these are a lot better for me, and I actually like the fact that if I spill something on these leather seats, it'll be really easy to clean. You know, perforated leather is kind of tough to clean, but overall, that's going to be a preference thing. But for me, I really like these seats that they have, the leather that they have in these trucks now. So you could get this leather in the TRD Pros and the Limited. And like I said, the perforated, heated, and cooled is in the 1794 and the Platinum. But that, like I said, will be a preference thing. So let me know what you think. If you've driven both, which seats do you like better? For me, I like these a lot more. My back feels fine after a 3 to 4 hour trip. Next on the list, another one that you guys don't seem to care too much for, push button start. I'm a big fan of push button start, and I'm happy to see that the Tundra was one of the final Toyotas to finally get one, because all Toyotas have had push button start for a long time, and now the 4Runner and Toyota, the 4Runner and the Tundra and everything have it now, so I'm very happy. So both of my vehicles in the driveway have push button start. I'm a big fan, no issues with it whatsoever. So, but I know there are a lot of you out there that prefer a key. That is just a preference thing. And last but not least on my list is the gauge cluster. Now, in 2018, they changed the gauge cluster for the Tundra to support the new Toyota Safety Sense. You got a new little information screen. They moved around, you know, some of the gauges to make it look a little bit different. But to me, the 17 one that I had in my Platinum, because my Platinum was a 2017, versus the 2018 and up gauge cluster, even though it was small little changes, it's a night and day difference. I like the one that's in there now. I feel like it looks a little more updated, and I'm digging the way it looks. And now you have, and like I said, this has been on the truck since 2018, but it's new to me because I had a 2017. But now I have a digital speedometer readout. I could see the PSI in each one of my tires. So there were a couple little upgrades here and there with that, but I'm definitely a big fan of the gauge cluster. But let's get to the two best things about this truck for me after 6 months. We're going to take a little ride and talk. So I'll meet you in the truck. Okay, we're out here driving the Pro now to go over the last two things, the main things that I like about my Toyota Tundra 2020 TRD Pro after 6 months of ownership. And the first one has got to be this Fox suspension. Now, I am coming from a 2016 TRD Pro that had the Bilstein TRD Pro setup, and I'm also coming from my 2017 Platinum that also had that same TRD Pro setup. I added it to the truck early on when I first bought it. Now, I figured this was just going to be the same old suspension, the same setup, just with a different name on it, right? Different brand. But to be honest with you, there are a few characteristics I'm noticing that are a little bit different about this Fox suspension. For instance, I helped a buddy move the other day, and he lives down kind of a washed out rocky road, and I was able to see the suspension do some performance at low speeds. And that was where I felt like the Bilstein TRD Pro suspension really lacked. At low speeds, it was kind of bumpy, kind of like the TRD off-road suspension. You felt every bump. You were kind of moving around the truck a little bit, but at high speeds, which is pretty much what it's designed for. The TRD Pro suspension is designed for high-speed desert running, you know, but you're hoping at low speeds it's not uncomfortable. But at high speeds, that Bilstein TRD Pro suspension was amazing. Now this one, at low speeds, it rides the bump really well, gives a good amount of driver feedback. I want to make sure I feel what's under me. I don't want to just float on a cloud when I'm on a suspension. I want to be able to have good driver feedback in the steering wheel, you know, just the way it is. But this Fox suspension really ties in the loose ends that I felt were with the Bilstein TRD Pro suspension. It isn't just a name change going from Bilstein to Fox. There are some things here and there. Now, going over that road I helped my buddy move on, and going down some of the beach roads I go, the suspension's really good whether you're going slow or fast. It really rides the bumps and the imperfections really well. Now, on road, which most of you who buy this truck will be on road with it, it is definitely something to talk about because it's comfortable, low speeds, highway speeds, everything. I really don't have many bad things to say about the suspension. The only thing bad I would have to say about it is the price. It's very expensive. It's like $3,000. But you know what? There are a lot of good aftermarket suspensions out there to check out that'll give you these same characteristics for a cheaper price. But we're comparing the Bilstein TRD Pro suspension to this, the old TRD Pro suspension to the current one, and this one is just fine. So it is definitely a huge plus to me. Like I said, I thought I was going to have the same you know, the same everything when it went from the old suspension to the new suspension, but this one has shocked me a little bit, and it's been a very comfortable ride, and I'm definitely happy with it. Now, we got to get to my number one, and I've talked about this in a few videos, but first, and this has to do with it, let's get up to speed here. Gotta love that TRD dual exhaust, baby. Gets up to speed so nice. The engine, the 5.7 liter I-Force V8 engine in the 2020 Tundra is different. There's something different about it. I've talked about this since the moment I bought the truck. I've talked about this since I since I got my press vehicle in February 2020, which was a 1794. I said there's something different about the engine. I thought it was just the press vehicle, but every 2020 I've driven feels different. The throttle response is way better. The shifting is smoother, and when it shifts makes a lot more sense than when it used to shift. It doesn't feel sluggish at all. It feels like the engine had 3 really strong cups of coffee. And every day I drive it, it's like this. It doesn't change when it's super hot out. No sluggish feeling whatsoever. The engine has been amazing, amazing. I'm thinking they changed some of the throttle mapping, maybe a little reconfiguration here and there, recalibration. I don't know what they did, but I'm telling you, and a lot of people, when I made the main video about this, they're like, you're crazy, they didn't do anything to the engine. But I'm telling you, something's different about this. And since I've been able to talk to since then I've been able to talk to other owners of 2020 Tundras that are coming from other years, and they definitely agree that the 2020 5.7, there's just something different about it. And I'm not complaining at all. I was terrified coming from a supercharged Tundra going back to a naturally aspirated 5.7 that I was going to be extremely disappointed and just not enjoy it. don't get me wrong, a supercharged 5.7 is definitely way faster than the naturally aspirated one, but this has been a pleasure to drive. It doesn't feel slow at all. It doesn't feel sluggish at all. It feels ready to go at all times. I'm truly, truly impressed. Now, I do a lot of trips into the Pocono Mountains, and there were times when I was in other 5.7 liter Tundras where it kind of struggled on the hills a little bit. I mean, you know, it wouldn't struggle. It's 381 horse. It does what it's got to do, 401 torque. But, I mean, you'd really have to get the pedal down there and get the RPMs up to get the truck to get up those hills comfortably. With this setup they got going on now, it's just always ready to go. Like, we're just cruising here, and you put your foot on the pedal, and it's just gone. It's just... There's something with this 5.7 liter V8 for 2020. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, I implore you, go to a local dealership and give it a ride, because I instantly felt the difference with the press vehicle they gave me and when I got in this truck on the first drive with it. There's something different. You're gonna ask me what kind of fuel I'm using. I'm using the same fuel as you guys use, 89. I actually use 89, so it's middle grade. The press vehicle was using 87, the regular. So I'm telling you, I'm really impressed. This is the #1 thing I'm impressed with the most, is this 5.7 liter this year. Just very happy. And I've always been happy with the 5.7. It just feels like there's a little bit extra in her nowadays. So let me know what you think. Those are my likes 6 months into this Tundra. I'm a very happy owner. A lot of you guys that have been around a while know I'm calling this truck the Gap truck, because this is the truck that's going to be here until the next generation Tundra, and then it will go away, and we will get a next generation Tundra immediately when it comes out. I will be your guinea pig before you spend the thousands of dollars, but I couldn't be happier. I didn't know what I would end up between the Platinum and this. Like I said in my last video, I wanted to get something. I didn't want to trade the Platinum as an owner. As an owner, I didn't want to trade the Platinum at all. I love that truck. But as a content creator for Tundra people that have a lot of questions and want to know things about the Tundra, I felt like having a supercharged Tundra kind of put me in a smaller demographic, and I wanted to go back to a 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 and into the current 2020 model with the 2020 features to be able to speak to that. And that's the reason we did this, and that's the reason we call this the Gap truck. We wanted to go modern until the newest Tundra, the all-new Tundra, comes out in 2022. So that is the reason, and I couldn't be happier with this truck. If I had the money, if I had the funds, I would totally keep this truck and also get a next gen, because it's been a pleasurable experience. I really like my 2016 TRD Pro I had before my Platinum, but there were some things I wish that were in the truck, you know, like the moonroof, stuff we've talked about. In this Tundra, I actually feel, after, this is Tundra number 6 for me, I feel like they've finally brought the truck up to date. There's a lot of modern stuff in here, but they didn't change too much about the truck, because I gotta be honest with you, I like the Tundra the way it is. There were just little things here and there. The better N-Tune system helps a lot. The push button start makes it a little bit more modern, and this calibration they got going on the current 5.7 is great. And just so you know, 2021 will be the last year of the 5.7 V8, okay? So if you are kind of in the market for a truck and you're a V8 guy, you might want to go get one now, because the Tundra is going a different direction, folks. Now, you guys know at the end of all my videos, I like to feature a couple playlists. Today is going to be the playlist on this truck, the 2020 Army Green TRD Pro Tundra. Go check out all the videos I've made since I bought the truck, little modifications I've done, everything like that. Check that out. And the other playlist we're going to do, ooh, the sun is bright. The other playlist we're going to do is the Platinum Pro Project, which was the truck I had before this. That is the truck that had the supercharger and all the pro parts put on it, so go check that playlist out too. I won't put this up, but you should also go check out the next generation playlist as well if you want to get caught up on what is to come for the Tundra. There's a lot of good information in there. But until next time, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out those promo codes to get some of the things you want from Toyota and the Toyota Outfitters, which is your Toyota gear, like the stuff I'm wearing right now. Until next time, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at TundraDude34, TundraDude34@gmail.com. You guys have a great day, be safe, and make sure you go below the video and let me know what you love about your 2020 Tundra. Have a good one.